In 2015, 226 million youth aged 15 to 24 lived in Africa, accounting for 19% of the global youth population. By 2030, it is projected that the number of youth in Africa will have increased by 42%. Despite the growing figures, Africa still holds the biggest disease burden globally. In 2010, malaria and HIV and AIDS were the first and second leading causes of premature death and disability in the region. Recent studies from health monitoring organizations now show that more youths in Africa are contracting HIV. It is from this background that Dr. Mutharika based her argument on avoiding complacency in the fight against the AIDS scourge.
We can no longer push young people to the margins of our development efforts. We gather today to make young people count.
She also urged youth to use social media constructively.
It is a great moment to support several scientific research designed to embrace new technologies and methods for addressing health challenges facing our youth today and beyond. Social media can help fast-track communication of important messages for addressing certain health challenges.
The First Lady of the host country, Margaret Kenyatta, said these engagements with the youth will help them chart a path forward for Africa.
Our world is waking up to the reality that it is our youth who will lead the kind of reformative work that is urgently needed around the world. It is our youth who will solve some of the most perplexing and pervasive global problems we have.
Dr. Katie Hayward from HIV drug manufacturing company Viv Healthcare said they still have challenges in producing drugs for the continent.
The innovation comes at a cost that maybe countries like Africa can't afford. And so we've also worked a system where we can give that special license away to those countries that need it the most, to manufacturers who can make medicines affordable.
A 2015 UN AIDS report shows that reach of life-saving treatment increased from 24% in 2010 to 54% in 2015, reaching a regional total of 10.3 million people in Africa. Dr. Katie says the younger population, especially the children born with HIV, are not planned for in the elimination of AIDS.
Children sometimes have to wait up to 10 years for drugs to come. We need to change that as well. And so we advocate through collaborative research, and then also we advocate through our community and partnership.
The UN AIDS report also states that Uganda, Kenya and Malawi all have a young population below the age of 15 living with HIV and AIDS, which according to Katie is a challenge to drug manufacturers.
When you design a drug, you look at the biggest population for that drug, and most of that is adults. You know, we don't think early enough about what we do for children, and then we end up delivering something to you that maybe then takes more time for a generic manufacturer to make the right formulation. You know, a big liquid that needs refrigerating might work for England, but it's not going to work for you here.
According to a 2015 UNICEF report, 260,000 people aged between 15 and 24 were infected with HIV globally, and 260,000 of the same number were adolescents between 15 and 19 years. It is such figures that have prompted such prospective meetings to come up with new ways and ideas on how to combat HIV among the youth. Walter Mwesije, NTV, Nairobi, Kenya.